Friday. I'm doing a show. I got everything. It's cold out, so I'm wearing a robe again. All right. Three, two. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Friday. It is June 11th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. I hope you're all well. Hope you are closing out the week in a good fashion. It's cold out. I woke up, yesterday it was like 48 overnight. Last night was below 50. It's hard. It's sometimes it's hard to remember. Good morning, Jordan. That it's not summer yet. It's still spring. We still have 9 more days of spring. We haven't gotten there yet, and it's easy to forget that because we get some hot weather early on, and it's like, oh yeah, summer's here. No, not really. And yeah, now I was having a conversation with someone at the gym yesterday about gardens, because I talk about gardens. I think that means I'm officially old. I'm talking about gardening. You want to talk about peas? No, not really. I slept funny last night. I went to bed early. I slept super hard, and I woke up abruptly at my alarm. I had crazy weird dreams. So I dreamt, here, let's see if I can unpack this one. I dreamt that it was back when I had my IT company. And there was a store in a nearby mall that had gone out of business. And it was primarily a comic book store. And the mall owner was a former client. And I paid a month's rent to take over the store. And I spent much of the night, or at least what felt like it. Jordan says, woohoo, comics, like where this is going. And I spent much of what felt like the night sleeping, agonizing over why I had taken on such a large project. And there were moments this is interesting. I'm glad I'm recounting this. There were a few moments in the dream where I speculated I was having a dream. I was hopeful I was dreaming. I don't ever remember dreaming and thinking it was a dream before. Now, it wasn't the kind of, what do people call that? Lucid dreaming. It wasn't that. I definitely wasn't in control. I was watching the show, but man, it was crazy. Now, where's all that coming from? It's coming from working and working too much and watching Big Bang Theory. It's not rocket science to figure that one out. And then, of course, well, no, because that's comics. The IT company that I sold to my employees, the store component, dialed back some of the IT stuff in favor of gaming, Magic the Gathering, etc. See the sunburn on my head? I got a little. Looks like I got a little bit more sunburn. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be outside wearing a hat and a shirt again. Actually, I didn't wear a hat yesterday. I don't know. Jordan says, sounds like my dreams about returning to school. Yeah. It's interesting, all the things that we can attempt to glean from our subconscious. Most of mine are pretty obvious. It's, hey, you work too much. Or you work a lot. I shouldn't say I work too much because I don't. So really exciting news. The magazine is officially ordered. Now, we did have a last minute change. Not in the content or who's getting it, but here's the last minute change. We thought the company that we had selected was going to mail them all out to everyone, which we were totally cool with. We had the list ready to go, was ready to upload and everything. We were below the minimum. I didn't realize that. They had a 500 piece minimum. We're only doing 100 for the first issue in hard copy. So guess who is putting them in envelopes and mailing them? That's me. So they're going to come here and we'll ship them out. But on the plus side, I might throw in some extra stuff. I might throw in, I don't know, stickers or whatever. It's something that we can look at. If we're going to mail these out in envelopes, and they are just small enough that we can get by with a single stamp right now. If we're going to do that, then I could throw in some stickers, maybe some other stuff, and we can look at, as the magazine gets bigger, what else can we do? So I'm pumped about that. I just need to approve the proof. I saw the email come in saying, hey, approve this. I'm busy. You have food. Come sit with me. Cat is super annoying. Jordan says, thank you for the last 2 cards. Too much appreciated. You're welcome, Jordan. Thank you for your purchases. What Jordan's referencing, if anybody doesn't know, if you buy something from our website, you get a card. You get a thank you. Do you want to lay down? Do you want to lay down? She likes when I wear this robe, and I also do too, because she doesn't claw me in the groin, because it's thick enough. She's a very needy cat. What else happened yesterday? Helped my brother move. We got some more stuff to do on that today. More work outside, more preparation for having some friends over this weekend, and that's what this morning is, and tomorrow is getting ready for that. I know, but it's a big mat. Let's see if we can break it up a little bit so maybe some of it falls off. All right, I think we've reached our threshold. I've decided this is why cats run in groups, because they have to groom each other. She grooms me. She licks my hand. There's nothing there. But she doesn't like when I reciprocate. I hope you all checked out yesterday's episode 613, Q&A number 4. Let me know what you think. And make sure you email Andrew. More stuff. Andrew at whistlekickmartialartsradio.com. Let's have some fun with this. Let's see if we can, I don't know, stump me. Andrew is all for goofing around. So if you want to conspire with him against me at my expense, let's do it. Let's do it. Anything for the show. Anything else to report? I've talked about this a little bit, but now I will say it more definitively. We're looking for a salesperson. This will be a commission only, but a very healthy commission. I mean, we're talking a large percentage, to my knowledge, larger than what most commission sales positions are going to offer. And there's a range, which is why I'm not giving an amount, but we're talking, we're not talking 10, 20%, we're talking more than that. Here's another mat. I can't help it. But now that we have the magazine, that'll be the primary thing that people will sell ads for. And then on the other side of that, or not, but with that, we can start taking some ads on the other things that we do. We can take ads on Martial Arts Radio. We could take ads on First Cup. Imagine one of the cool things would be, what if this mug wasn't always a First Cup mug? That would be the best way to do it. We get an ad for somebody, and they sponsor for a day or a week or a month or whatever, and I've got a different mug and we talk about them. That would be fun. Now, by itself, would that be super compelling for the business? No. Our numbers aren't huge here. But what if it was, a week on here and a couple episodes of Martial Arts Radio and an ad in Martial Journal? Now we're getting somewhere. Maybe a sponsorship in our newsletter, right? Like there's a lot that we could do. So if you or somebody you know is interested in being a martial arts ad person, let me know. Jordan says that's a great idea. In general, help spread both of the product and the company. Yeah. What it comes down to is when I built this company, when I started this company, there was no platform. Nobody gave me the opportunity. I reached out to people. I spent money. There were so many people that took my money, promised me the world, delivered nothing. Literally nothing. There's one person I'm thinking of right now that I just won't even speak to anymore because they basically scammed me out of $1,500. Pound sand. And I won't name them only because I just don't like that kind of energy. But I threw ads in Black Belt. They led to nothing. Jordan says you're a better human than I am. No, I just don't like talking about people. I really don't. It doesn't do anything. Martial artists talk about each other. There are, I see these posts come through once in a while. I just want to let everybody know that this person is no longer part of our organization. You don't have a better way to communicate with your organization than a public post on Facebook? No, you're looking for attention. It's drama. I don't do drama. Ads in Black Belt, and then, I reached out to another podcast, a now defunct podcast, had a meeting that they forgot about. Never went anywhere. So I said, fine, we have to create our own platform. We have to create a platform and launch from that. And the irony is the platform is now the product. Jordan says, speaking of people, time to go to work. Jeremy, keep being you. Thank you. We love you. Appreciate it, man. Be safe and stay healthy. Talk soon. Cheers. And if we can help others launch things or gain attention, we'll do that. Right? Right? All right. Let's see what you guys get me to talk about. I think it's time. Time to chat. As soon as I'm done with this, I gotta get some work done. Not work, but like farm work. I kind of, I've had this realization over the last couple of days. I enjoy many of the things that I do. But I really enjoy, in the summer, just like working in the yard, building gardens, planting food. I don't think I would enjoy it if it was my job, and I don't think I would enjoy it if it was like my main source of food. I think that would be stressful. But it is enjoyable. Is that your stomach or mine? She's not sure. I think it was hers. All right. Got stuff from Frank, starting with some jokes. Shout out to Frank. June is candy month. Jeremy gets extra jokes this Friday for his birthday. Yay. Who is the best candy wrapper? Eminem. I was told a joke about candy bars. It wasn't that funny, so I just snickered. I tried to steal candy from a baby. He slapped my hand away. Turns out he wasn't born yesterday. What kind of boat has candy in the middle? A piñata. If athletes get athlete's foot, what do candy makers get? Tic-tac-toe. That's a good one. What country did candy come from? Sweden. What's a southern farmer's favorite treat? Cotton candy. What is an astronaut's favorite chocolate? A Mars bar. I thought it was the dehydrated ice cream. That wouldn't work for a joke. But. What kind of candy bar does an employee crave before the weekend? A payday. Would you call a dog standing on a Mars bar? Rover. What candy is only for girls? Hershey's Kisses. There are two types of people in this world. People who love chocolate and liars. I've known a couple people who aren't big fans of chocolate. Who was I talking to that their kid doesn't like chocolate? Oh, yeah. My buddy Caleb. His wife's allergic to chocolate, and his son, who is now almost 6, has grown up saying he doesn't like chocolate. because that's how his mother describes it. And his father was telling me a story recently when he was here that I think they were making s'mores, and he was hesitant, but he had one, and I think he said his response was, "I like this, even though it has chocolate on it." Kids are funny. Neil Patrick Harris. We've got some quotes from Neil Patrick Harris today. Famous for starring in the TV series How I Met Your Mother, and Doogie Howser, MD, back when I was a kid. I identified a little bit with the Doogie Howser character. You know, being smart, misunderstood, ahead of his time, maybe. It was a great role. And then when he played that character in Harold and Kumar, it was just such a riot. And then my understanding is that kind of flipped into the role in How I Met Your Mother, which he's such a good actor. He really is. That show is just a great show. You know, it's easy to dismiss sitcoms, but I went through How I Met Your Mother again. I'm going through Big Bang Theory again. And there's some really good acting in there. I think when you look at sitcoms, the ones that last require at least a couple really good actors. And part of the reason that we're reading Neil Patrick Harris quotes is that he is openly gay and has advocated for a lot of things around. I've seen him talk a bit about raising children, and some of these quotes come in line with that. Number one, parents need to be more accepting of who their kids are and less concerned about what society thinks they need to be. Yeah. It's so interesting that we all go through this. Maybe not all of us, but so many of us go through this trend of when we're young, we don't care. When we're really young, we don't care what anybody thinks. We just do. And then we were slowly conditioned to care what other people think. Where does that come from? That comes from parents. And then we take that and we run with it to the point where we care what other people think and we ignore what our parents tell us to do. Our parents see the problem, start trying to correct it, start trying to get us to be us, and it's too late. And then we spend, some of us, quite a bit of time doing what we think everybody else wants us to do, and then eventually we go, screw it, and we're much happier. Yup. What's the solution? Don't tell small children. Ow, ow, claws, ow. Release your claws. Hey. You're done. That happens about once a day, where she claws me. I try to remove her gently and replace her, and she gets all hissy. She's giving me the dirtiest look right now. She's like, don't be a pain. If we just didn't tell kids, hey, other people are going to think you're weird. It's not a justification for not doing something. Number two, I don't know, but I think kids just want to be listened to. So I want to make sure I do that. There was a podcast I was listening to yesterday, and they were talking about the two primary needs. To feel loved and to feel good enough. Obviously, that's a different perspective than, food, shelter, clothing. I'm going to put more coffee in here. Have I ever done that? Have I ever added more coffee? Coffee's good. It might be a little bit weak. But... The downside to this French press is that it's not insulated. I had to throw the other one away because we had, what, 3 days in a row where I was eating coffee grounds on the show? That didn't work for me. We want to feel loved. We want to feel good enough. We want validation. We want to know we matter. And no matter how comfortable you are with yourself, we still want to feel those things. I still want to. There are people who have chosen to not be in my life. I still want them to validate me. Stacy says, "Don't remember you ever having a second first cup." I don't either. I don't either. Huh. Who would think that 3 years later there are still opportunities for firsts on this show? I often teach a graduate theater seminar on Greek tragedy and performance. I usually begin by saying that no matter what technological advances occur, the wisdom of these plays will never be obsolete. What are good plays about? Human interaction, love, treachery, these universal concepts that I don't know that we'll ever get past because they're so core to our humanity. And you can update them, you can change the dress, you can adjust the language. But a good play is timeless. Do I have more to say? I flirted with doing some acting. I really did. I think I've talked about this. The idea of memorizing lines terrifies me because it seems like so much work. There's a podcast I'm listening to now. I don't think it's a secret. I think I've talked about this, that one of, if not my favorite show of all time, is Gilmore Girls, because the writing is so brilliant. The acting is just top notch. Well, there's a podcast now. Even though the show came out 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. There's a podcast now where they're going episode by episode unpacking it. It's a lot of fun. But I've learned a lot about acting and how acting happens and the long hours and the immense work that goes into it. And I think maybe I could do it. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe as much as the idea of being a celebrity doesn't appeal to me, if it meant I got to be in a movie or something. If I was cast as some kind of like credited extra sort of thing in a movie, that might be kind of cool. I think I could do that. Especially if I was like a bad guy in a fight scene and I got to kick somebody and then they beat me up. Like, that'd be awesome. Can make that happen. My teeth will be fixed. Maybe that's been a limitation. Stacy says, stuntman? Maybe. As long as it doesn't involve heights. I'll do just about anything with stunts as long as it doesn't involve heights. I'm not jumping off stuff. Not my scene. And our last quote from Neil Patrick Harris today. Babies just change everything. You have to become super selfless and super tired and super amenable to change. They just change all the time. Also describes teaching a kid's martial arts class, doesn't it? Super amenable to change. Super tired. What was the first one? Super selfless. That describes anything with kids, I think, if you're going to do it right. I love working with kids. I don't like working with kids time and time and time again. I like being able to show up. I pretty much like being, it's like the fun uncle or the grandparent sort of condition with kids. I'm gonna come in like a whirlwind, have a great time. I'm gonna teach them some fun stuff, and then I'm gonna bail. And I'll leave you to pick up the pieces. Yeah. Kids like me, generally, because I'll interact with them. My nephew is part of the... I've made all these people family. They're not biological family, but that doesn't change anything for how I feel about them. So my nephew is he 16? I think he's turning 16 in July. Man, that's crazy. He's coming over with his parents tomorrow, part of the crowd that's coming. And I mean, I met this kid for the first time the day he was born. And he's a great kid. He's always been a great kid, great heart. And I've always been willing to engage with him. You know, you look at the way, and I've had people explain this to me. If you look at the way most adults engage with children, there's a barrier. Quite often they stand up, there's a distance. And there's going to be a point that I'm making in this that is beyond children. So if you're looking, I'm going to go, well, you're going to miss the most important part that I'm going to say on this episode. There's a physical distance. They use different language. They treat time differently than young children do. And it becomes more patronizing. Like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's a cool toy. Oh, who brought you that? And then they'll dismiss the kid. And there's a time for that. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, little kids can just draw all your energy, and sometimes you have to set a boundary. But I'm remembering when I went to my brother's a few times ago. I walk in, and his daughter Ellie is 3. She'll be 4 tomorrow. And she was right there. Like, there were people around, but she like ran up, grabbed me. Uncle Jeremy, I want to show you such a. I hadn't even said hi to anybody else yet. All right, let's go. And we spent 20 or 30 minutes playing in her playroom. And I was on the floor with her, engaging with her, trying to use, not baby talk, but simpler language. And what's been explained to me is that because I am willing to reduce the physical distance, get down on their level, talk to them, engage with them, little kids really like me, and I create these memorable experiences. And I think that's part of why when I step into a martial arts class and I work with kids, I have success, because I'm willing to meet them where they're at. And I think this is one of the biggest challenges we have as people, is we don't meet people where they're at. We expect them to be where we are. Well, here are a couple examples. If you're smarter than the person you're talking to, they're not going to suddenly become smarter. If you want to have a good engagement with them, you have to bring yourself to them. If you are in a different physical location, maybe you have to bring yourself to them, whether that's crouching down or kneeling down or driving. Meet people where they're at, and you're able to have a much better exchange. A lot of us get bent out of shape because someone isn't meeting us where we're at. Responsibility is on us. If we want to make that relationship or that engagement go better, it's on us. You can't control what other people do. Now, if you're always the one making that effort, maybe it's not somebody you want to make that effort with perpetually, and that's okay. But knowing the equation, knowing how this process works, I think it's probably important to remember. Okay. And that was the stuff. That's what I wanted to give you today once we started talking about kids. I hope you have a great day. Great Friday. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. That was a typo, a brain typo. Yeah, my brain's not firing right. Well, have a fantastic weekend. I will see you back here Monday. Leave me some stuff to talk about. A few things to remember. The Audible version, the audiobook for Faith, is live. Go check it out. 2, make sure you watch yesterday's episode of Martial Arts Radio. And 3, do something for yourself today, this weekend. Do something that feels a little indulgent, something kind. And if you feel resistant to that, do it for me. It's my request of you. Hey, I have to go to this movie, Jeremy told me to. Hey, I have to have, a cookie, Jeremy told me. Whatever lines up, whatever's going to make you feel really, really happy, please do that for me. Okay? Take care of yourself, and I'll see you on Monday. Peace, everybody.